Hello students. Today my topic of discussion is full wave rectifier. In this lecture I will illustrate how you can do your virtual lab experiment on this topic. Before going into the lab part, I will also discuss the theoretical concept. Let's start. You all know that rectifier is a type of circuit which converts AC into DC. That is, it can convert AC power into DC power. Or if you apply an AC voltage, then we will get a DC voltage. Now, rectifier can be classified widely into two types, as you can see here. A full wave rectifier can again be classified into two types: center tapped full wave rectifier and a bridge rectifier. As in this lecture, I will particularly discuss the virtual lab on a bridge rectifier. So we need to first understand the theoretical part. Generally, bridge rectifier circuit can be constructed in two ways. One, without filter, and the other is by using a filter circuit. In this figure, what you can see here is a circuit of a bridge rectifier without filter. First, think of the aim object. What is our objective here? We want to get DC output voltage by applying AC input voltage. If we consider a pure DC, then it would be simply like this. But practically, it is not possible to get a pure DC, that is 100% DC. That is essentially be consisted of ripples or AC components. That is, practically every DC voltage is not 100% DC. It essentially consisted of some ripples. Ripples means AC components. Now what we can do? We can use filter circuit and we can reduce the ripple content in the output waveform. But we cannot make it zero. And this is the function of a filter circuit. Now here in this circuit, you can see we are applying a sinusoidal waveform, okay, of 230, approximately 230 volt, 50 hertz, and we step down it by using a step down transformer, as you can see here. It is the transformer part. You can see that the number of turns in the primary side, it is the primary side, is greater than the number of turns in the secondary side. What does it mean? Why it is so? If we consider that the number of the turns at the primary side as N1 and at the secondary side as N2, then what will be the equation? Then the equation will be like this, as you can see here, that is N1 by N2 is equal to V1 by V2. You can also write here the capital N1, capital letter N2. V1 is the voltage at the primary side and V2 is the voltage at the secondary side. Both the voltages are AC. Now here you can see A is the turns ratio of the transformer, N1 is the number of turns on primary, N2 is the number of turns on secondary, V1 is primary voltage, V2 secondary voltage. So as N1 is greater than N2, then this ratio will be obviously some number greater than 1. Okay. So if we write V2, that is, if we write the equation of V2, 1. So obviously V2 will be less than V1. Okay. And this is the aim object of using a step down transformer. During the positive half cycle of the input sine wave, that is this input waveform at the secondary, which of these four diodes will be in the on state? Okay. During the positive half cycle of the input, the voltage at the secondary will also be positive. That is, here it will be positive and here it will be negative. And in this case, it is not a center tap type, so we are not using the center tap connection. Due to this, as you can see the positive sign here, so the anode of this diode is connected to the positive terminal of the input. So it will be forward biased. So it will be in the on state. And on the other hand, and the cathode of this diode, that is D3, is connected to this negative terminal. So obviously this is also in the on state. Okay. So they will actually work as if they are in the short circuited condition. As if, I am using a as if word because there will obviously a minimum voltage drop of approximately equal to the cut-in voltage of the diode. So the current will start to flow in this direction, follow the arrowhead in the bold line, that is here, that is starting from this A point. Starting from this A point, it will go in this direction, then it will go through the diode D1, then through the load, then through D3, then go to this negative terminal. So this is the direction of the current. Okay. Now, then what will be the waveform here? Obviously, the waveform here will look like the waveform here. That is the positive half cycle. Okay. It will be like this, but the magnitude of this may vary depending on the value of this load resistance. During the negative half cycle of the input waveform, as the voltage is negative here, so obviously there will be minus and there will be plus. Try to think, that is here in this case, the positive side is connected to the anode of D2 and the negative side is connected to the cathode of D4. Okay, and here you can see for D1, the anode of D1 is connected to the negative terminal, so it will obviously in the off state. So D4 and D2, this will be turned on. Okay, now the current will start to flow from positive direction. Okay, follow the arrowhead. This is on, so it will go through this D2, then through RL, then come here, then comes here, and then through D4, then go back here. So this is the overall loop you can see. Now what will be the waveform across the RL? Now the voltage across this load will look like the input, that is we have applied the negative, we are talking about the negative half cycle, but here the voltage waveform will be the positive one. Why? Because in both the cycles, that is during the positive cycle and during the negative cycle, the current direction through the load is same. So in both the cases, we will get positive cycles across the load. But if we reverse the direction of all the diodes, obviously we will get the negative cycles for all the input positive and negative half cycles. Okay, remember this concept. Now see this diagram. It is actually the input waveform, as you can see, sinusoidal wave. It is the time axis. The time taken by the waveform to complete one cycle is actually the time period. Okay, actually the reciprocal of the time period is actually the frequency. Okay, and what is amplitude? This, from this to this is the amplitude. You can also take this value from this point to this point is the amplitude, and from this point to this point is a peak to peak voltage. As you can see, the positive peak and the negative peak. So you have to only take the magnitude part, so you will get the peak to peak voltage. Okay. Now what will be the output waveform? As I told you, during the positive half cycle, the output will be the replica of this, exactly identical. During the negative half cycle, we will again be getting the positive half cycle. So for all the positive and negative half cycles, we are getting the positive half cycles, as I already told you. But if you reverse the direction of all the diodes, then obviously you will get a waveform at the output like this. Okay. Now see this diagram. It is also a bridge rectifier, but what is the difference? You can see here it is consisted of a capacitor, and this capacitor is working as a filter. Simple filter circuit, and this type of filter is called a capacitor filter. Okay. There are different other types of filters, but here I am illustrating the overall topic simply. Okay. Now actually try to recap again what was our aim object. What was our aim object? Our aim object was to get DC waveform. And what we actually obtained? We obtained a waveform like this. Is it actually a DC? No, not at all. It is not a DC, but it is consisted of a, you can see V peak, that is, it is maintaining a DC peak value, but it is not exactly a DC because you can see the waveform is actually varying with time. So it is actually consisted of AC components, that is ripples. That is what we are seeing here is DC. Obviously there is a DC part, but it is consisted of ripples, that is AC components too. Now what we have to do? By using this circuit, we can actually reduce the AC component or the ripple in the output voltage. Let's see. So the waveform will be like this. As you can see here, okay, it is comparatively better than this one, and you can understand that the amount of the ripples in the output voltage has decreased. Go to Google Chrome and write virtual labs. You have to select Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering. Now scroll down and select Basic Electronics Lab. Go to List of Experiments. Select Full Wave Rectifier. You can read this objectives part, that is at the end of the experiment what you are going to learn. You can see here the waveforms. Scroll down. Here you can see the output, the input applied and the output waveforms. Now here you can see the transformer, right? That is N1 is the primary winding and N2 is the secondary winding. But here you can see it is a center tap transformer that is actually used for the center tapped full wave rectifier. For the bridge circuit, this type of transformer is not used. You can see the circuit diagram of a bridge rectifier, which I have already shown you in the theoretical part. I hope you understood the theory behind. You can see here, that is the operation during the positive half cycle. D1 and D3 are operating. You can see the equations. VO is the output voltage. VI is the input voltage. As I told you, the output voltage will be the replica of the input voltage. This is the operation during the negative half cycle. In this case also the voltage will be positive at the output. All the equations are given. You can read it out. This will help you to calculate different parameters like form factor, ripple factor. You can see the equation of the ripple factor. Remember this equation. It is 48.1% for the bridge rectifier. Efficiency is 81.13%. Very important parameters. Peak inverse voltage, another very important parameter for the rectifier circuits. As you know,
The peak inverse voltage, it is the maximum voltage appearing across the diode or a number of diodes when the diode is not operating. So here you can see PIV is 2 into Vm. This is the bridge rectifier circuit. You can read the note part. Now let's scroll up and go to the simulation part. Click the simulation. Full wave rectifier, you can also draw the circuit. I'll choose the first one. This page will appear. You can see the circuit is already done. Read the instructions properly. You can see the first instruction. Set the value of the resistor RL. RL is a load resistor. You have to fix it. Then click on the on button to start the experiment. Number 3. Click on the sine wave button to generate the input waveform. Then number 4. Click on the oscilloscope. Let's start. First, fix the value of the load resistor. I have fixed it at 600 ohm. Then click on the on button and sine wave button and oscilloscope. You can see the waveforms at the left side. The input waveform is shown here as I have clicked the channel 1. If you click channel 2, you will be able to see the output waveform as you can see here. You can clearly see the positive half cycles are coming across the load as I discussed in the theoretical part. This virtually playing the role of a CRO, that is, now you can see 2 waveforms at a time. According to the given instructions, you can vary the input amplitude, you can vary the frequency, and you can observe the output voltage waveforms. With the help of the control panel at the right side, you can position the waveform vertically or horizontally. You can change the position of the waveforms, and you can also magnify or compress the waveform by using the control knobs. Now try to fix the value of the amplitude of the input waveform and try to calculate the value of the ripple factor by using the equation given below. You have to calculate the value of the Vrms, root mean squared voltage, Vm by root 2, and the value of Vdc. Then you will be able to find out the value of the ripple factor. Now try to do this experiment by yourself and do the calculation part on your copy, and also write down the data on your copy.